Hey guys, live impromptu stream. Mostly because I want to explain something that I don't think is coming across clearly. And I didn't feel like making another video today about it that I did formally to export it. So I'm just gonna jump on for a quick stream. I do have something I need to do at 4. But I want to just give people a minute to come in and we're gonna have a little chat. And I'm gonna explain a concept that I think many people are confused about, and we are going to go from there. I'm just giving people a minute to come in, and I'm giving people a minute to see what's what. And we're gonna go as soon as it seems things are started off. But I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm just gonna tweet this out really quickly. Just to make sure people know I'm even live, because they may not know. And of course, our little white identitarian friends might show up. That's okay. Going live now to explain the difference between saying critical race theory is racist and critical race theory is anti-white. Adam, I am literally live on my channel right now. Adam from Sitch and Adam. 4 dislikes because it's the trolls. Roddy, I'm going to make you a moderator. Roddy, congratulations on ascending to moderator. All right. We don't have a big crowd yet. It doesn't surprise me. It's the middle of the day. Sometimes the middle of the day is a little bit hard, but like I said, I wanted to do this now really quickly because Gail. Okay. Thank you for that, Gail. I will look for that tweet. Just Gail, just send me a DM again, please, just so it's at the top of the pile. I appreciate that. So, guys, what I want to do really quickly, just because it was just going to be easier for me to jump on a stream and explain it, is there seems to be a lot of confusion over the fact. Oh, Alexandra's here. Alexandra, you're making you are ascending to moderator. Congratulations on your promotion. So I wanted to just take a minute to explain why I think it's not only correct to say that critical race theory is racist instead of critical race theory is anti-white, but it is also actually the more consistent position based on everything I've seen over the last year. So this is really important. So I want to rewind a year ago, right? When all of this Black Lives Matter stuff started happening and people were starting to pressure people to say Black Lives Matter and raise their fist, and going into these restaurants and surrounding people and pressuring people to raise their fist and say Black Lives Matter. Well, what did the right do to that? The right was like, well, we think all lives matter, Carlin. We think all lives matter. And when we say all lives matter, that includes Black lives too. Now, I never really waded into this debate, honestly, because I didn't really care all that much. I am not a proponent of Black Lives Matter, the organization. Oh, hey, Christian. I'm not a proponent of Black Lives Matter, the organization, at all. So I'm not going to raise my fist and say Black Lives Matter. That's just not going to happen. I totally get the all lives matter thing. I do. And I appreciate the sentiment of it. What they're saying is that, like, everyone's life matters. Totally true. I tend to think the right uses it as a troll, though. I don't necessarily think that it's always used in good faith. I think they're trying to piss people off sometimes. Not all the time, but I think they are. But let's just look at the language for a second, because we're really focusing in on language now. If we're talking about Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, one can make the argument that saying Black Lives Matter is focusing in on a specific race, whereas saying All Lives Matter is encompassing of all races. Okay? Now, based on that explanation, do we want to focus in on a specific race, or do we want to be inclusive of everyone, to say that everyone matters and everyone has worth and everyone has value? So if you would like us to just say Black Lives Matter, I want you to type BLM into the chat. If you would like us to say All Lives Matter, I would like you to type ALM into the chat now. Okay, which one do we want? Between those two choices, do we want Black Lives Matter or do we want All Lives Matter? BLM or ALM, which is more appropriate for what you would prefer given what we know. Okay, so we have ALM, 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 ALM. Yeah, I mean, dare to dream, Liberty Lion. Dare to dream, my friend. So basically, so ALM, exactly, right? Like ALM seems like obvious, right? Um, well, ALM isn't obvious, isn't Marxism. It's just saying that all lives matter. So if we had to choose between the two, the chat is overwhelmingly ALM. Okay. We have set our stake in the ground. We have said that we are going to be as inclusive as many inclusive as many as people as possible. Everyone's life matters. Everyone is important. It doesn't matter if your skin is black or white or brown or Asian or any other derivation or biracial or anything. Like your life matters regardless of what your color of your skin is, except if you're Roddy who believes in Asian supremacy. And then he might have disagreements with that. Roddy is a member of my locals community, so I'm just making a joke there. I know who he is. So we want all lives matter. Okay. Now let's apply this to the critical race theory discussion. I am currently being pressured by everyone and their mother to say critical race theory is anti-white. I don't believe critical race theory is just anti-white. I believe critical race theory is anti-white, anti-black, anti-Latino, anti-Asian, absolutely anti-biracial. They're teaching biracial kids to hate their white parent. So I believe that critical race theory is racist towards everyone. So if we have already decided that we want to have the most inclusive stances we can, do we say critical race theory is anti-white? Or do we say that critical race theory is racist? Which one of those is more inclusive? Critical race theory is anti-white or critical race theory is racist? Because we know that critical race theory doesn't just impact white people. We can look at what happened to Senator Tim Scott when he gave the response to Biden's first big speech, where he got up and said America is not a fundamentally racist country, and he was attacked ad nauseum. We can see every single time a non-white person speaks up against critical race theory, they're attacked ad nauseum. We can see them going after Chinese and Asian American groups. We can't even have a conversation about who is committing hate crimes against Asian Americans, because those are African Americans. And because of critical race theory, we can't even have an honest conversation about that. So now I want to ask the chat, all of you who just said that we would prefer all lives matter over Black Lives Matter, based on the stake that you set in the ground, should we call critical race theory anti-white, or should we call critical race theory racist? Go ahead and type your answers into the chat. Are we looking for anti-white or are we looking for racist? Critical race theory is racist. Critical race theory is racist. Racist. No, not both. Not both. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Because we're going to go for consistency here. If you said that you would prefer all lives matter over Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter is included in all lives matter, and you want to be more inclusive of everyone because everyone is included in all lives matter, then guess what? You cannot say that critical race theory is anti-white without coming across as a great big hypocrite. Because if you say critical race theory is racist, that includes white people, that includes Black people, that includes Latino people, that includes Asian people, that includes all of the people that are impacted by critical race theory. And so if you are one of these people who came out and said, all lives matter, I don't even know why we're having this conversation, all lives matter, all lives matter, all lives matter, and you're calling critical race theory anti-white, well, you're showing your cards there. You're showing your cards. You're doing one thing when it's convenient, and you are being completely contradictory with the other point. I am not going to be ethically inconsistent. When I say all lives matter, I actually mean all lives matter. And when I say critical race theory is racist, that includes racism against white people. It includes racism against Black people. It includes racism against Latinos. It includes racism against Asian Americans. It includes racism against biracial people. It includes everyone. Everyone. Critical race theory is racist, full stop. And if you have the inclination to focus specifically on the white population to the detriment of everyone else, to the detriment of every other group that this ideology impacts, then you are ethically and intellectually inconsistent, and you need to rethink that. But in the meantime, what you're not going to do, I'm sorry, you're not going to police my language. I will decide what language I use, and I will decide what language I do not use. And if you have a problem with me saying critical race theory is racist versus critical race theory is anti white, then I'm just going to recommend that you take a long look in the mirror and you ask yourself if you ever actually cared about all of the lives that critical race theory does impact. Because I care deeply. I actually think it's more detrimental to young African American children who are taught from the time they're kids that the entire world is working against them. I think it's, maybe not more detrimental, maybe that was a misspeak, but just as detrimental as it is to everyone else. If you are teaching 13% of our society that they will never be anything because of the color of their skin, because the system will constantly be working against them, that is racist. If you are not holding those people to higher I know Barry Weiss's word. I was emailing with Barry Weiss earlier today. Like, if you are not holding those people to higher expectations, if you are saying, you're African American, so we can lower the admission standard, we can let you out of your finals after George Floyd dies, that is the soft bigotry of low expectations, and that is racist in and of itself. Now, you can use whatever language you want. The language you use is your business. But I will tell you flat out that there are a lot of very, very, very angry white people in this country that are only focused on the impact towards white people. And it is starting to spin up a white identitarian movement that we've seen on this channel. We've seen it. We've seen it. You can go watch the clips from last night. You can go watch the clip of that young man in the cowboy hat that came onto my stream last night. Look at his energy. He is not well. He is not well. And I genuinely hope he comes out of this. I really, really do. But this is not good. And I have already been deeply reflective about what contribution I may have made to this situation. And I'm certainly not going to make any additional contributions to this situation. Now, does that mean I'm not going to report on things like the Coke Be Less White training? Of course I am, because that's blatantly effing racist. Coke shouldn't have done that training. Robin DiAngelo shouldn't have done that training. It's racist. But is that any more important than racism against any other group? No. No, it's not. And I don't think that most people think it is. I think that most people do genuinely care about the impact on other people that don't look like them. But when the loudest voices are banging the drum and saying it's anti-white, 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 that is going to stir up a lot of angry people to be even more angry than they were already, and those people are going to end up doing very bad things. Is that what any of you want? Because I don't. Listen, the anti-white language in regards to critical race theory, it really only caught on about a month ago. We have successfully been pushing back against critical race theory for a while now and having amazing victories without using this language. And again, you're free to say whatever you want, but my plea with people, and especially content creators, and especially influencers, and especially people starting online newsrooms, Tim Pool, is that we be very careful about the language that we're using. It wouldn't do Tim Pool any danger, any damage at all to institute an editorial policy to say, we are not going to say that critical race theory is anti-white. We're going to say it's racist. We're going to say it's un-American. We're going to say it's anti-history. We're going to say any of these things. Wouldn't do him any damage at all. They can refer to it as anything they want. But referring to it by a race is fundamentally racist in and of itself. And if I haven't been clear about my position on this, I am sorry. I have been working it out over the past 5 days. I am a flawed human being. I am not perfect. Spoiler alert, I'm not perfect. But this is my position on it. I think it is an incredibly inconsistent position to say critical race theory is anti white and all lives matter. That's really inconsistent. And, you know, and it is being pushed everywhere. And this is a conversation, dude. I've been on the phone with reporters today. This is a conversation that that has been going on, and this is something that is going to be reported on. So all these little white identitarians, like, you're going to be coming out in the open pretty soon, man. You really, really are. Okay, I saw some super chats come in. I hope I still have them all on the screen that I can show. I think I missed the first one being on the screen. So I can't show that one, but I'm sorry. The Dashing Rogue says CRT is an offshoot of critical theory, which pushes the oppressors or oppressed dichotomy. The frame of CRT is a Trojan horse of communism. That is exactly correct. None of this has to do with race. I know it's confusing because it's called critical race theory. I know it is. I know. But it really doesn't have to do with race. When they are saying white, what they mean is the power structure. And what is happening is these white identitarian movements are hijacking this and trying to insert language in it that is making it easier for them to recruit. They are trying to recruit angry, young, white men, exactly the ones that were on my channel last night, to their movement. That's what's going on. And there are very, very simple things that we can do so that we can continue to fight back against critical race theory effectively while not fanning the flames of what is, I think, going to become something very dangerous. Remy, thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you guys are not haven't checked out Remy's Substack, I definitely encourage you to do that. He wrote a great piece on this just the other day. True Vikes fans, can I make an unpopular opinion? Something that is hard to talk about, but I think that needs to be said. I mean, yes, I wish I knew what that opinion was. Yes, of course, you're welcome to make an unpopular opinion, of course. Tune in, drop out. Thank you for the super chats. You've been so generous lately, and I just want to acknowledge that. I feel much better about your messaging now. Keep driving home the distinction between anti-white and racist. It is important you get this point. I'm gonna guess you meant across there. I'm trying, man. I'm trying, but there is, and I know I've got a bunch of mods in the chat, and please feel free to exercise your moderator ability liberally. Um, you know, it's sometimes not obvious the language that you need to use to get the point across to people, because I do not believe that most people who are doing the critical I do not believe that the vast majority of people who are using the anti-white language are racist in any way, shape, or form. I think that most of them are parroting Graphically Alex is about to get promoted to moderator. Boom. You got your wrench, buddy. So I don't think that the vast majority of people who are using the critical race theory's anti-white language are actually racist. I don't. That's not the point. What is happening is they're parroting language that they're hearing from their influencers. They're parroting language that they're hearing from other people. And it makes sense. I understand why people would say critical race theory is anti-white when they're first getting to learn about the topic. However, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be aware of this, and it doesn't mean we should bury our heads in the sand. I'm going to be really, really honest. The amount of conservatives and people on the right that I have seen defending actual white identitarians is really disturbing to me. It's really profoundly disturbing. It's profoundly disturbing. Oh, Jay, I knew you were a troll, Jay. Now I get to block you. There you go. I knew you were a troll. So and you know what? If you aren't going to keep your own in check, if you aren't going to be honest, listen. So the little trolls on my account that are brigading the chat right now, they've been doing their very best to fill up my comments with spam. They've been doing their very best to get people to unsubscribe from my channel. You guys can let me just be really clear. I will lose tens of thousands of subscribers and followers before I say critical race theory is anti-white. I care far less about subscribers and likes and retweets than I do about telling the truth. Telling the truth is the only priority that matters. That is all that matters. And if I have to lose tens of thousands of subscribers to you raging idiots, and I'm speaking to the actual white identitarians that are in the chat right now, I will do it in a heartbeat. And there are reporters working on this, and it's going to be exposed. And I'm not the only one who sees it anymore. Chris Rufo sees it. Barry Weiss sees it. James Lindsay sees it. We are onto you. We know what's going on. And I am not going to stop until everyone else sees it too. All right, guys. I have a stream I need to get ready for, but I will see many of you at 9:30 tonight. Joshua is going to get a good dose of what white identitarian trolls look like tonight as we do our regular show, Nothing Remotely Controversial. That'll be on at 9:30 tonight. I will also be on Joshua Smith's show later. Breaking the Cycle, I think, is the name of the show. I'm sorry if I followed that up. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. But I will be on that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I will be on board for Nothing Remotely Controversial at 9:30. So all my moderators, come in the chat, man. Come in the chat. Help me block all these fuckers. I need all your help. I need all your support. I appreciate all of my genuine supporters out there. I will see you guys soon. Bye.